had to find a name and make a logo, and we had to use recycled objects for it and spend no more than £50, which we didn't spend any pounds at all.
Wow.
And it had to be waterproof, and we had to record the process. And the insights we were giving were the best transactions are those in which both parties win, and money is a pretty good art critic. So the proposition was Pay What You Want, which comes from an album by Radiohead, Rainbow. And the concept we looked at was symbiosis, which is a mutually beneficial relationship between two different species. So we started looking into the species, and one was the clownfish with the anemone, and then there was the fungus with the tree. And lastly, we looked into the oxpecker, which has a relationship with many other different species.
So we started to think of the oxpecker. Obviously, it stands in its name. It sort of pecks on the ox, but it has lots of other roles in this symbiotic relationship. And we start to think of it as an ad agency, and it had a variety of different clients. So in this case, its clients is the giraffe, the rhino, the hippo, the ox, the zebra, and the antelope. And for those different clients of different sizes, they provide a variety of briefs, or they're given briefs by those animals. So they provide grooming and brushing and styling, some facial work for them. It's a bit like a nail bar for the animal. So the animal gets to look pretty fly and plush, and the oxpecker gets a meal and a free ride. It picks the ticks out of the giraffe's eyes and all that kind of stuff. I'll hand over to Jenny.
Thank you very much. So after looking at images of the bird itself, the first things we notice, obviously, it's a really beautiful bird. It's got a really strong colouring eyes, not something I've seen before, and its beak, obviously that bright red. It's just really beautiful, really unique, something different. And here it is again on one of its clients, a rather moody one. So the first sort of words that we came up with when we actually looked at it were sexy penguin, because it looks a bit like a stylized penguin. It's quite sexy. So then we looked into these words individually together. For sexy, we've got, it sort of relates to us being young, fresh, energetic, pretty young things. And then penguin as well. We've got the penguin itself, which is quite loyal. They work together to keep each other warm, and they're also quite playful, which I thought, again, sort of symbolises us quite well. We looked at other brands which actually use penguin, and there are a lot of strong branding which penguin also relates to. Obviously, we've got Pingu, we've got Penguin Books, the Penguin the Biscuit Bar. We've got Linux, which also uses the penguin, and a token penguin, which is Guinness toucan. And it's quite a powerful device that's being used. So we thought, well, if we used it, it's quite proud to be part of that, because again, it's quite a famous figure.
Yeah, so when we had this name that we liked, kind of like this sexy penguin thing, so we just tried to see how far we could simplify it down so that we could use it in the branding. So we just started off with these really simple shapes, and you see at the top, we kind of looked at the Rolling Stones' lips as kind of a way of saying sexy. So you see there's the first sort of lines of a drawing of how we can fit the lips into the beak, which is the yellow and red beak of the oxpecker. So so this is the print branding. So we've used this kind of funky typeface, Alba, to we thought it fitted quite well with those. We used red for the sexy, which is quite powerful, and just these really simple shapes. And we thought these could be, because of the logo so simple, it could be used to modify it for certain occasions. So say if we have a party, we could put a party hat on him, or we could put some earrings on, or we can use the various different circles for different punctuation marks and play about with the shapes and stuff. So this is the sign. So this, we've not put the varnish on yet because because it wouldn't dry inside, but this would be waterproof when it's varnished. And we just thought it's a really powerful image. And if you go right back to the end of the room, you can see this out at the end of the street, and it's really colourful and simple and memorable. And we thought it was just quite powerful on its own. The circle's a really powerful shape itself.
We can use it for other devices, like an exclamation mark in one way, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we just thought it didn't really need the branding on the outside, because people would remember the name anyway, and then hopefully remember the story of where it came from.
It's a bit like a memento. Once you see it and you've heard the story before, it sort of connects with the image.
Thank you.